Okay, well,
it looks like they're getting into the power system.
I am happy with the way this went. I had my doubts
Yeah.
about this whole arena bit, but I think they're mishmashing the tournament arc kind of thing, the training arc kind of thing, the world building stuff, and a little bit of the kind of the initial first success of the adventure kind of thing. So when the hero sets out in the adventure, or the heroes group or whatever, they all go out and they have things, and it's not as scary as they thought it would be. It's kind of a little bit easier. Yeah. This is that before it gets into the tough stuff. Right. And that will be good, because then as they encounter struggles, they'll have to use the things that they learn in the training portion of this in order to overcome the obstacles presented to them. So all in all, it seems to be a very simple structure, but it is a very compact structure.
Right.
So, especially with the pacing of this episode, they breeze through 24 fights or something like nothing. Or how many? I don't know.
Right, however many it was. I am really excited to see what happens in the next episode with the whole training bit and the Nen and Ren and all that stuff.
Yeah, so the Ren bit is apparently the first step in a 4-step process that ends in Hatsu and ends up being a part of something called Nen.
So is it like a combo technique, basically?
I think it's actually like the way... The verbiage, I think that... what was it? Shizu? Wow, I already forgot his name.
Zesho or something?
Zushi. Yeah, the thing that Zushi said was that you unlock them, or you awaken them, or you bring them out. And I get the feeling that this is maybe where Bleach got their idea of Shikai and Bankai. That basically it's a releasing. So there's some kind of internal, like, energy components that every human being has, or something like that, and it's probably like you need to unlock or awaken it to like a certain extent. And Hatsu is like the
open all the chakras.
Open all the chakras, exactly. And then the Nen is actually what it's called. Nen is the full on full on like the encapsulation of it. Yeah. There's a lot of, say, like, parts to it, but those 4 parts are probably the core disciplines. Didn't they say disciplines
I think so. The way he was talking about it was definitely a very, like, monk-like type way of going about it. So
I could see chakras being involved, and maybe that's where Naruto got their inspiration from.
I also... I wouldn't be surprised, though, if it ends up just being something completely different in its own thing. Sure. And that's one of the way that sort of, like, maybe sets HunterxHunter apart, even though it came out so much, like, earlier. Right. Because,
well, so here's one thing that's interesting. If Illumi was using this when he did his whole, like, kind of freaky thing, and Killua freaked out, and Zushi used it here. Right. Hisoka, when he went all
that was, and
there was that weird energy radiating off him, that had to be similar to this.
So now the thing that really surprised me here, though, is that Killua didn't know anything about it.
I know.
That is a great way to, like, basically be able to give exposition on it, because then it's not just that the main character's learning about it.
They both don't
know anything about it. And the fact that Killua doesn't know anything about it makes it seem that much more special. And I think that's important that they set it up that way. Yes. Because since they waited till, almost the 30th episode to actually, like, give it a name, right? That basically means that they're saying, no, this is a big deal, right? There's a reason like that.
There's a reason why Killua wasn't taught this by his parents.
Sure, yeah.
Like, there's a reason why he went through 200 floors
without even
knowing what this is.
Exactly. Now, here's something that, this is crackpot theory right here. What if not everyone in the family, like even among the older people, know about it or know how to use it, and then maybe Illumi learned from Hisoka, and that basically, like, what if there's some sort of coup or something that's going to happen within the family, right?
So this technique or what have you is something that you don't necessarily want to tell everyone that you can use it,
right?
Because it kind of
puts a target on your back.
Puts a target on your back.
And here's my prediction. Maybe. So I'm almost certain that Hisoka is one of the Phantom Troop because of when they showed the silhouettes.
Yes.
At one point, like he was like that was Hisoka right there.
I went back and looked
on the side.
and it's Hisoka.
So what if that's one of the things that makes the Phantom Troop so terrifying is that they all can do this, and that Illumi basically is maybe like starting to work with them,
possibly,
and as like maybe as payment they're like showing him the ways of
sure. We don't know what the Zoldix criteria is to be a client of theirs.
Right.
Maybe the Phantom Troop pays pretty well for an assassin like Illumi.
And if you think about it, if you have a family of assassins like that, they own a mountain and the surrounding area. Money isn't going to mean as much to them at a certain point. It's more going to be like things of like, favors or basically things that money can't necessarily buy.
Right.
So,
Now, I don't want to get into economics here, but there's a really interesting bit with the Heavens Arena thing, having them use gambling. Now, here's a funny thing to think about this here. Are they just gambling with their own money? Because here's the part that makes this interesting. If this is a company owning this stuff,
the competitors could be gambling with the money that they've been given from the place.
Right. So one of the, I would say, the tricks of this whole Heaven's Arena thing is you constantly look at the potential of what you could be getting at the top, but by that point, your risk of just getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And the question is, if you die, I wonder if when they signed this thing, it's like, oh, didn't you read on the dotted line? If you die, all your money goes back to the arena.
Sure. I could totally see something like that.
I mean, I'm guessing that's actually not how it is because most people would probably just,
call it quits when they have a bunch of money, or like send money to,
or just send money away,
their family or whatever, put it in the bank, bury it somewhere.
It feels very scammy in that people have no limitations on what they can do. I'm sure it's pretty regulated in how to keep the fights from actually being about killing.
Because otherwise, like, people would just like bring in guns and stuff.
Well, no, I don't think this is the place where you can bring in actual weapons.
Okay, sure. All right, yeah.
I think that's why he's trained in martial arts, Zushi, particularly, because it's pretty effective here. But it's basically the most ingenious type of casino for this type of world. So I get the feeling that as we've seen more and more of this world, the guy who created this story, he loves making these types of systems. Yes. He loves, like, I would love to do a tabletop RPG session with this guy or gal. Whoever created HunterxHunter.
Right.
I want to basically play a tabletop RPG with them.
The campaign might go on hiatus for a while.
Exactly. But I would really enjoy being not only a GM for them, but also a player.
Right.
And see what kind of things
they come up with. Oh yeah.
Because I get the feeling that this is the kind of show where everything's pretty well thought out. But maybe the moment-to-moment story beats are more thought up on the fly creatively.
Yeah, okay.
But the intricate systems of the way things work...
Right, the setting.
The setting, exactly, is very much like the brainchild of this person. Which gets me even more excited because the hype is that the combat power system or whatever of this show is really good. That's kind of another hint as to that. Yes, it is really good.
And that will be such a treat if that really is how it is for HunterxHunter, because when I watched Bleach, right, I remember being very excited when the Soul Society arc happened, and like I totally got caught up in the hype. But even then, like at the high moments in the show, I was still sort of like, oh, but remember back when they just had swords and that was it? So if they can keep that from happening, where you actually I can get really invested in the power system itself, and not long for the simpler days when it was just gone with his fishing pole. then I would take off my non-existent hat to the creator.
Yes. With the way this show could go, they could use this Heaven's Arena bit as a simple way for them to kind of slowly introduce the whole concept of, Ren or Nen, and bring it to the forefront of the story in a bigger way once they get to York New and meet up with Kurapika and Leorio
and Hisoka
and the Phantom Troop. There's just some really cool things that they can do.
Oh, absolutely.
And it makes it more of a fun way for them to introduce it in this kind of pseudo tournament battle royale brawl arc thing.
Exactly.
With an added bit of training. Also, this kind of dweebish guy with the glasses being a martial arts master and potentially a master of this Nen stuff. Like,
here's what I see it as being. I see him as being basically like the HunterxHunter equivalent of like a D&D wizard, right? Where basically he's all about academically studying this thing. Yes. He might not be like the most physically fit person.
I don't think we can assume anything like that in HunterxHunter.
We can't assume anything like that because we have 12-year-olds that are able to, do the kind
do what we just saw in this episode.
So, But with his design, they set up his design to not like be the intimidating type of design, right?
Yes.
There's different things when it comes to like kids, but so I get the feeling that maybe he's more of just the like very bookish like this is he basically sees this power system as a system, and he figures it out. He has a really good understanding of it.
Sure. So is Zushi trained or training of?
Sure. Yeah, that's a great point.
Because I wonder if his knowledge of these techniques, like Ren and Hatsu and whatever the other two were, give us basically another mini power ceiling to where the boys can be in maybe an episode or 3.
Sure.
And have them get to there? Or is it where he's learning the technique and that also puts us to kind of knowing where Illumi is, in that Illumi just knows like as much as, for all we know, he just knows just as much as Zushi does.
Yeah, and that'll be interesting because because they've established that Hisoka at least believes that he can beat Illumi, right?
I think he's pretty certain.
I think he can.
I get the vibe, especially since we didn't have Hisoka really fight seriously in the Hunter exam.
Exactly.
He's way stronger than he lets on. And also that bit with him kind of going all...
the zombie thing.
Yeah, that is something tied to this.
Well, and that makes me very excited because, especially if Illumi doesn't know that much about Nen, then if Gon learns about it, and then they meet up later, and Hisoka's like, so have you learned anything? And he's like, well, yeah.
I learned a couple things.
And then Hisoka's like, this worked out better than expected.
You continue to impress me.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll kill you soon. But...
Right?
Yeah.
This almost feels a little bit like some of the systems I designed for a Star Wars tabletop RPG campaign. And the whole economics of the amount of money that being thrown around stuff is very large.
Right.
But
Always
there's a lot
at the top.
A really scary kind of worry about getting in too deep into this whole fighting thing. Which is interesting. Do you think there's any kind of a theme that they're bringing up here, in that fighting gives you a lot of potential, but people can get a little bit overconfident in just their own techniques, and then once they get into the real world, above the 100s or above the 200s, then you're actually going to fight people that are actually doing this because this is why they live, why they breathe.
I would love to see that, because the way they've set it up so far is that even someone like Hisoka can get beaten by Gon in a sense, just because he wasn't, he was very focused. Gon was ready, and he snags his tag, right? With something that means that potentially Gon and, well, probably not Killua, but Gon could be in for a rude awakening if suddenly his whole one push man doesn't work.
Oh, that's coming very soon.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it didn't come in this next episode.
Right, unless they spent like the whole episode just like training, so he didn't really need to use it.
Possibly. This new guy, I could see them really going in depth and just giving us a big exposition dump on the system itself. But I could also see them bringing in a lot of fights into this whole thing because I think that them using the techniques incorrectly is good to show. What better way to show it than in a fight in Heaven's Arena?
That would be great to see, because I can't remember the last time I actually saw someone use a technique like some fantastical technique in an anime incorrectly.
I just think this could be the kind of thing where they do that, like basically where they think, oh, I've got it, they try it and it doesn't really work, or
it didn't work,
or it works but it's like 1% effectiveness,
Right, exactly.
It's like, oh, you have to train 1,000 hours to use that move.
We have seen ineffective techniques. Aqua punching the toad.
Okay, I mean that's a good one too. I'm not going to mention the one I was thinking of.
Oh, okay.
But with this being introduced, do you feel like now's a good time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want them to go into like too heavy into exposition, like if they had 5 episodes where it's just like...
But that's my point, is that because they're suddenly introducing it now, does that mean that this Heaven's Arena bit is going to be a long time so they don't dump it? Or it's going to be short and then they will dump it?
I feel
like we're in a no-win situation with this Heaven's Arena thing. Not that it's necessarily going to be bad, but I think it's either going to be a long set of episodes, i.e. more than 12 or 12, and... if it's not, then we're going to get some serious, heavy exposition dumps, which is risky.
Well, okay.
As a story
goes. I think we could get 12 episodes, including this episode and the... Well, okay, maybe not the previous episode.
That was a recap.
Yeah, but... I was thinking of the one before that, but there was a recap after that, so probably not.
Yeah,
But since they set it up to be 6 months, I think that's basically them saying that there's going to be several episodes, but there is a definitive end point. So
yes, that's true. But also them saying they want to get to the top floor.
Well, yeah. Well, that could be something
that could take a while.
That could take a while, and what they could do, that maybe they just don't end up getting there.
I would love that.
Maybe they get to floor 300,
or
400, and suddenly it's like, oh no, if you don't have Nen or whatever it is, no, you're not going anywhere. Like you're gonna get punked.
Yeah. There's also a real worry about people getting hurt. Now, I wonder if there's really a possibility that any of, Gon or Killua can really get hurt that badly that they can't just heal up. But I wonder if they're introducing someone like Zushi so that they can show actually how dangerous this place can be.
Well,
and Zushi ends up getting killed. Like,
okay, I don't think that's going to happen.
Oh, you don't think that's going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen. That would be I would be pleasantly surprised.
I'm meaning in like 8 episodes or so. Like...
okay, sure. Maybe
like towards the end.
Okay, yeah, maybe. But if they do that, it will be a very deliberate thing from one of like the big bads like Hisoka or someone like that.
Yeah, that's another thing is I think, guys, now that we're introducing this whole power system, the only other person we've seen in the show use it besides Illumi and Zushi
is
Hisoka.
Yeah.
And that has to be what Hisoka was doing. Like, sure. I can't think of, it being explained away as something else. It feels like that would be perfect foreshadowing if that's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
They're basically showing it.
That's what we were thinking it was.
Like, well, we thought it was, but we kind of brushed it, at least I kind of brushed it aside as like, well, we haven't gone back to that yet, so...
Right, yeah.
Maybe we will at some point, and now we might be.
Exactly.
And it would be good to potentially have him come back into the story, especially... as a way to kind of show, remember when you last saw this, and they do the little flashback, and then and they come back to the present.
Yeah. Now, what if? Okay, here's a crazy theory. What if Ahsoka is actually like already at the Heaven's Arena,
and he's like at floor like 600 or something?
Exactly, and he just like stays there, and he just does one of those, every once in a while, just for fun or something, or I don't know. But like the idea that, okay. Hunter x Hunter does the unexpected, right? They do that all the time.
Right.
And since they set up, in 6 months' time, we're going to see Hisoka again, we're going to meet him, you know, whatever. What if they just didn't do that?
What if they just showed him, you know, now?
Now, yeah. Like,
I think that would be cool.
That would certainly make us way more interested in the fights that Gon and Killua have in the arena as they're progressing, because Hisoka would probably be watching.
You know? Maybe. He might not watch fights that are too far below.
Sure.
He might not even be
if it
made
involves
aware
Gon,
of
though,
fights being that low.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe they're all separated by that 100 tier
ceiling
thing, yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what happens when you get to...
Do we know what the top floor is?
No, we don't.
Okay. Sorry, what were you going to say?
Well, I'm just saying if they had a ceiling, you know, like you have a place to stay once, you know, you get to 100, what do they do at the other 100 ranked things? Is there really much of like a noticeable difference, or...
Who knows?
You know.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Could be cool.
They're leaving unanswered questions.
Yes.
That aren't super important, but we'd like to see them answered.
Yeah. All right, guys. This is good discussion. If you want to see the next 2 Hunter x Hunter episodes right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon and get on early access. We'd love to see you in Discord and chat with you there about stories, Hunter x Hunter, or whatever.
Whatever.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all later. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.